happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas. And if your Thanksgiving was anything like mine, on opposite sides of the table were fans loyal to teams playing each other this weekend. Welcome to third Saturday in October. This is what we're all about. Find us online at thirdsaturdayinoctober.com, on social media at TSIO Pod, on Venmo at TSIO Pod, and on buymeacoffee.com/TSIO Pod. I am Bradley, here with co-caster Jared. How are you, sir?
I went to bed on Saturday night, defeated, frustrated, dejected, rejected, infected, maybe. I don't know. It was a lot of those things. I woke up today and I'm going to bed tonight with a glimmer of hope, and we're going to talk about why that is.
Yes.
So,
Um, a lot happened. So, um, where where to start? Let's start. I'll share a little bit of my Thanksgiving weekend because let's start Thursday.
rightfully so.
Um, I, Me and my immediate family, Vols fans. My dad graduated from Tennessee. My grandmother would watch games on TV, even if it was pay-per-view. Remember those days? You'd have to pay $30 to watch one game on TV.
Uh, I remember that from a wrestling perspective. I never did it for college sports, thankfully. But
My
yeah,
my grandmother would pay for pay-per-view and mute it and listen to John Ward call the game.
on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
so so anytime that we could not watch it on um, CBS or ABC, wherever it was being played, Jefferson Pilot Sports. Remember those days?
Oh yeah.
If it was on pay-per-view, we were going over to my grandmother's house to watch it. If it was an evening game, which a lot of those pay-per-view ones were,
Hmm.
because if it was during the day, it was on the radio. But anyways, my dad goes to Tennessee. My sister goes to Tennessee. I was like, I don't want to go to Knoxville, dirty, dirty town. I'll go to Waco, dirty, dirty town. 18-year-old logic is not good logic. It, but uh, we've seen the sunburned Bradley too many times already. That day was probably like most every other Saturday where I would wear um, was a Tennessee fan. My mom was telling me this weekend that they went to a game when Bill Battle was coach, and this is the end of his uh, time as head coach at Tennessee. Had turned and were so ugly. My grandfather was kind of like, I'll I'll root for the Nashville team since they lived near Nashville. I'll cheer for Vanderbilt um for a little bit. So I think that's kind of how my uncle uh kind of started his Vanderbilt journey. Uh Unfortunately my uncle did not get to see this game. He passed away a couple months ago. Um but my all my cousins were like, "Hey, I hope you have a great time at the game and I hope your team loses." Th- that is how Thanksgiving dinner
Yeah,
ended on Thursday. Um,
that's yeah.
I'm sure I know of many families in Alabama whose Thanksgiving dinners end with
Oh yeah.
"I love you and I hope your team loses."
Yeah. It's
Um,
usually not as polite. So,
I, I know several families from Texas.
hmm.
Um, my my wife comes from Georgia, so my especially my father-in-law's family. That thanks We don't travel down to Georgia for Thanksgiving. There's just too much travel for a crazy weekend and
Yeah.
with little kids. But they would get together, I don't know, 100 people, and most of the conversation is Georgia, Georgia Tech. Um, some of my best friends are on either side of the Egg Bowl. This is just life in the SEC. So Um, Here are the teams that won on Friday. Texas over Texas A&M. Seriously, A&M, you just A&M'd yourself. Uh,
Man,
Dig 'em.
brutal.
Uh, Georgia beat Georgia Tech. Oh my, 16 to 9.
Hmm.
What year is this? What century is this?
That's yeah, something's not right.
Uh, that the Egg Bowl. And Ole Miss, the school, given Lane a deadline that they and let's get into because this team, I part of me thinks that maybe he didn't really want to leave Ole Miss, but kind of the way he was treated of, hey, if you're gonna leave, this is what we're gonna do. I think put a sour taste in his mouth. Um,
Yeah, and
but because
that's such a tough thing. I don't know, man. I don't
uh,
know where to stand on that.
um, I mean, the way he left Tennessee, like I think he wanted to do it the right way because
Yeah.
his dream job came available. Um, but the problem was the, I guess the board of trustees or somebody kind of let the cat out of the bag, and the media shows up to what he thinks is going to be a private conversation.
Mm.
Then he wants to do the right thing at Ole Miss and coach this team through the end of their postseason, which could be monumental for Ole Miss. Ole Miss is like, no, we just want to know what you're going to do. And he says, if you don't let me coach through the end of the season, whether, if I leave, then I'm taking the offensive staff with me. And Ole Miss kind of said, fine, do it. So Lane Kiffin is going to LSU. From what I'm reading on Twitter at the time of this recording, he boarded a plane just a couple of hours ago to fly from Oxford to Baton Rouge. And I don't know how much of the offensive staff was on that plane or is home packing their bags and headed to LSU. Um,
Well, I know Charlie Weiss Jr. is with him. That was the OC, and there was a couple other names I read. So he did take a handful of people. So
yeah.
that can't be helpful to Ole Miss going into the playoff.
And
And that's sad that it had to come down to
yes.
that. Uh, I
It,
I
and
get
Ole
it.
Miss just does not look good in this situation. They do go
Yeah,
and
this
immediately hire.
seems yeah,
They go and immediately hire their defensive coordinator, Pete Golding, as head coach, which sounds like, hey, we're just going to try to hold this thing together.
yeah.
Um, I, he's done some really great things as defensive coordinator. Um,
Yeah, and he might even be a great head coach somewhere.
yeah,
I'm not sure somewhere should be Ole Miss, but what do I know?
yeah,
What I do know is Ole Miss was in a really challenging circumstance, and they felt like that's what they had to do just to
yeah,
not completely destroy everything they're about to do,
yeah.
compete for.
But because now you've got a coach who knows this team, who knows these players, and likely knows a lot of the recruits that they've been going after,
Hmm.
especially on the defensive side.
Hmm.
So what can you kind of keep together, um, and keep rolling through the postseason and keep together for 2026 and beyond? I get it, but it's, I mean,
Yeah, well, rough.
you
Yeah.
start to think too, if they start making a bunch of phone calls, how many no's were they going to get? Um, Now, you, would you rather get a bunch of no's and go end up with a really good head coach, or do you hire from within, um, and kind of promote from within and get somebody who you kind of
Mm.
already know and trust quite a bit? So, but is unproven, at least as a
Yeah,
head coach.
that's a tough one.
Um, Drama, drama, drama.
Much of
Uh,
it. Yep.
but that's the SEC, and that's why we love it.
It is.
Um,
Yeah.
Any other comments on the the awkward Oxford exit, as it were?
I just wish for the players, I wish that could have been better handled, but I don't
Yeah,
know what could have been done to truly resolve this. So it was just an unfortunate thing. Um, yeah, I wish them the best, and I'm rooting for SEC schools in the playoffs. So obviously, I'd like to see Ole Miss play well, and but yeah, that's just a tough one, man. That's a tough one. And if that were Auburn, I'd be really salty.
oh yeah,
Um, it doesn't make me feel any better that it's their rival. I just I've seen Lane Kiffin make some decisions before, and I can't fault him for having the desire to want to coach LSU and him now because of Ole Miss, feeling the way they feel about the timing of this, they won't let him coach. That does seem harsh.
yeah,
Uh, I can't understand why they couldn't have figured that out, and had a better win-win. But I guess Ole Miss, their ego just wouldn't allow it. Um, and if they get eliminated pretty quick in the playoff, I mean, it'll be obvious why.
yeah.
So,
If they go
uh,
out and their offense just sputters,
yeah. Well,
one, it's
I
going to
don't
be a
even know who they
testament
have
to
left on their offense. So they obviously have enough staff to, get through the playoff, I would assume. But man, that's such a nasty situation. That's
it.
terrible. I
Yeah,
really don't like it. I don't like it for them. But
no, it's mm.
yeah, I don't
uh,
even know what to say. We're on a podcast, and I wish I had more words. I don't know.
I
It's a bummer for a lot of people involved.
yeah.
So
All I'll say is I'm glad it's not my team.
yeah,
Um, the team that Kiffin is heading to lost to Oklahoma 17-13. I mean, Oklahoma just barely outlasted LSU at home too. And come on, Tennessee couldn't beat Oklahoma. I don't know.
I don't get
Oklahoma
it.
just showed out.
Yeah, Oklahoma's you know
That could
uh,
be a budding rivalry as long as Heupel and what's his name at Oklahoma are head coaches.
Venerables. Yeah,
Yeah, because they coached together at Oklahoma as assistants, maybe coordinators at the time. Um,
yeah,
know each other really well and try to pull out all the stops. Iron
you're right.
Bowl,
Hmm.
Alabama outlasts Auburn. Um, props to Auburn for kind of clawing back in this because it felt like Alabama was pulling away a little bit, and uh, I mean it took to the very end to decide this one. Uh,
Yeah, that was
Auburn's showing some grit.
As an Auburn fan, it was terrible to watch that fumble by Cam Coleman, who's probably our best player. I felt bad for him and felt bad for the team because I think we were in a pretty good position to come back and tie that, and just didn't get that chance. So, um, we're tired of the losing, tired of the what ifs, tired of the moral victories. It just everybody went to bed thinking DJ Durkin's going to be named the head coach because Florida's basically threw a pile of money at the guy that we were going to potentially get Summerall, and so now the coach that we thought we wanted is not in the mix, and we just lost the Iron Bowl, and it is just seriously went to bed just feeling like, dude, why do I cheer for the Auburn Tigers, And then we wake up today and we find out they did not hire DJ Durkin, which I'm relieved because DJ Durkin was interim for 3 games and lost two of you know, the only one game they won was against Mercer. And I don't think hiring DJ Durkin as a head coach would have been in the best interest of Auburn long term. So to hire Alex Golish greatly exceeded my expectation. I knew Alex Golish is a good coach. I actually watched UCF, or I'm sorry, USF play Florida this season. I was at
Yeah.
that game and saw USF beat Florida at the Swamp in Gainesville. So I've seen Alex Golish's team. That wasn't their best offensive performance, but I've seen them play, watched them, a couple games on TV and stuff, and um, I didn't know all of the history. I vaguely remembered he was, at UCF and he went to Tennessee, but
Yep.
I didn't realize or appreciate how much he had done at all these stops. And
Yeah.
once I got more uh educated, it made me more excited about the hires. Like, okay, this guy really can create a really awesome offense. And you know, just I don't even think Auburn has to be amazing. I think they just have to be, halfway decent, and then all of a sudden we probably have 7 wins, and for an Auburn fan right now, 7 wins is like, the promised land, and
Yeah.
just which is, kind of heartbreaking to say, but it's true.
Well,
So
I think this is a great hire for Auburn,
yeah, I do too.
for a couple reasons. One, Hugh Freeze had a lot of the offensive pieces in place, just couldn't figure it out, and we even saw that in the last three games of let somebody else call the plays, and this offense is not as bad as it looked for most of the season.
Yeah, I think that's
Um,
fair to say.
and so now you go hire another offensive guru, a younger offensive guru who, yes, Alex Golish had the full trust of Josh Heupel. There's been some interviews where he talks about this, and he said Heupel would chime in when he had an idea of something, but he kind of let Golish run the offense. He, I don't think Heupel's found that same trust with his OC since Golish went to USF, but Golish has gone, and I mean, to beat a Florida team, no matter how bad they are, they should always beat a team like USF. Um, and for Golish to do that kind of proves his worth as a head coach.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
I I'm excited for Auburn for this hire. I think it's a step in the right direction. And it's a really
100%.
great step. Um, so did I think he could make that jump? I didn't think he was going to do it this season. Maybe a couple, because we talked about would he go to Arkansas? Would he make another stop before a place like Auburn? But uh,
I was shocked when, because when Arkansas hired him, or supposedly had hired him, I remember messaging you, and then I was
yeah,
like, I think he's going to Arkansas, and then there wasn't any like a full announcement from like an ESPN or, so I was like, okay, I don't know that this is finalized. And in my mind, I was thinking, man, Arkansas just hit gold. Like they don't, I don't even think they appreciate how good of a hire this is.
right.
And that was my honest take. That was, and I still think Arkansas hired the right coach. They hired, the coach from Memphis.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's a really good hire.
yeah, that's a slam dunk hire for them too. And Memphis, Tennessee is right next to Arkansas, so it's
Yeah.
like the same recruiting, and
Th-
like I think that's a good
And
hire for them.
yeah, that's part of the reason why I think this is such a good hire. I think um I think Silverfield is just a good coach. He's
I have
done some
every expectation he'll do fine in Arkansas. I
yeah,
really do.
he did really well at Memphis, which is a tough it's a tough place to succeed.
I think it's only
Um
going to get tougher too, to be honest.
because a lot of Memphis kids go to Ole Miss.
Hmm.
A lot of Memphis kids,
The top ones. Yep.
yeah, because it's a lot closer than Tennessee.
Yep.
Um, Tennessee is 7 hours away. Oxford is
Yeah, it's maybe
just a
two,
couple.
if
Yeah,
that. Not
it,
not even. Yeah, it's
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 not
close.
far.
Yeah.
Um, and it's kind of prime territory for Arkansas as well. So could you pull recruits from Memphis and away from Ole Miss, especially right now. Um, could he go and steal some of these players who committed to Lane Kiffin and are like, I'm not so sure now. Well, you don't have to go too far from home. Just come up to Fayetteville. Okay.
Yeah,
I think that's a really good hire for Arkansas.
I think so.
Um, yeah, I think there have been a couple really good hires uh here, and I don't I don't know if he's got any SEC experience. But again, he is in like the heart of SEC territory, surrounded on all sides by SEC schools, and having to recruit against them. Um, Moving on to another game, we may come back to Arkansas in a minute. Uh, Kentucky just got embarrassed by Louisville, 41-0, and then very shocking to me, a text you sent me shortly before we started recording. Reports are that Kentucky is parting ways with Mark Stoops, who took a basketball school and made football relevant. It's
Yeah.
it's been a struggle the last couple years,
Whew, has it?
um,
Yeah.
but uh, Kentucky only 5-7 this year. I
And we're
don't.
basically a year, as a year, maybe it's 2 years. It was like Texas A&M was going to hire Mark Stoops,
Yeah,
supposedly, and then they
to,
got Elko.
yeah, to replace. Yeah,
Yeah, so imagine, like that's a, a pretty bad drop in a short amount of time, two
yeah.
years or however long that was. It doesn't seem like it was that long ago.
Well,
So
it,
how the mighty have fallen. Stoops is a great coach, and any other SEC school would have fired him a long time ago.
yeah,
Um, so that just speaks to the love of the Kentucky. Well, I don't know if everybody loved him, but I know they certainly appreciated him enough to keep him as long as they did. And now here we are, completely different situation. I am very curious to see who they go after.
yeah,
Um, I don't even. I mean, there's still good coaches out there. I mean, truthfully, you could see, and I'm not suggesting this would happen, but you could see someone like a Jimbo Fisher in at Kentucky. Wouldn't that be wild?
yeah,
Um, Especially if he's willing not to call the plays. And he starts recruiting like a madman there. He's from West Virginia. Maybe there's something to that. The coach Neil Young, who was at West Virginia, or you know, um, does West Virginia go grab the coach Charles Kelly from Jacksonville State? Who is a winning, he's got him in the Conference USA Championship, and he's a
yeah,
heck of a recruiter. I think Auburn just wouldn't hire him because he didn't have much coaching experience other than this 1 year at a Conference USA school. But somebody's going to get him if he
yeah,
keeps winning, and maybe Kentucky just jumps on somebody like that, or maybe they go after a coordinator from Ohio State or somebody that's not far away.
yeah,
I don't know who they'll go after, but I'm curious because it's an SEC school. It's a good job.
yeah. I think one thing that you're going to want, because you kind of weigh these things differently, SEC experience, head coaching experience, uh, recruiting prowess for Kentucky. I feel like recruiting prowess needs to be up there because it is hard to recruit to Lexington. To the north,
Yeah, I've always thought that's odd because is easy to recruit, but why is football so hard to recruit?
but because
Lexington, you
your
can
best
recruit
players,
basketball, but you can't recruit football. Like, I always thought that was strange.
well, I think it's because for basketball, um, I mean, there's a prestige to Kentucky basketball. Um, I, do they have the most championships? I think they
Yeah, I
do.
don't
I,
know.
I think
Maybe
they're the most prestigious basketball program in the country in all of college basketball history, I think. Um,
if it's not them, my guess would be maybe a Duke or North Carolina, but I think Kentucky's got them beat. So,
I
or
think
maybe
Kentucky.
in Indiana, maybe I don't know.
I want to say that Final Four appearances, championships, it's Kentucky and nobody else. I remember seeing a graphic, and I think it was Kentucky. Um, so there's just that history to where if you're a basketball player and you want to go play with the best, your first thought is Kentucky.
Yep.
Now, maybe right behind that is Duke UNC. Um, but Kentucky's been winning championships recently. Duke and UNC haven't. Um, so I think that's where you can recruit for basketball more easily. For football, your best players are going to Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio State. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to Tennessee. They may be going kind of north and west into the Big Ten. Your best players are kind of getting pulled elsewhere. Um, so you need a good recruiter, and then you got Louisville, who was 8-4 this year. Um,
Yeah, Jeff Brom. Yeah, that's a great example of you just get the right coach, dude. It makes a big difference.
big difference.
So,
So I think Kentucky needs to go find a recruiter.
and I don't know if you've been to Louisville. I'm assuming you've been there multiple times. You're pretty
Yeah,
close to there.
yeah.
I've been to Louisville, and I liked Louisville. I thought Louisville was pretty cool. So I could see why people would go to Louisville.
I spent uh my my great grandparents lived in Louisville, so as kids we would go up there to visit, and I loved it because they lived in this independent living high rise. They lived on the top floor in a corner apartment. It was so cool. And you get to go eat lunch and dinner down in the cafeteria and have people serve you like a fancy restaurant.
Oh yeah.
It was awesome. Um
Yeah,
uh
those places are cool.
so we spent many breaks up there at Trenton Oaks, I believe was the name of it. So shout out to Trenton Oaks if it's still
Yeah.
around. Yeah, Louisville's a cool town. I've been there
I liked
for
Louisville.
work as
My
well.
my experience there was positive. In fact, I was like, dude, it's so cheap to live here. Like, if I didn't live in Florida and was maybe considering different places, maybe Louisville would make the list, you know? Like, I didn't think it was
Yeah.
that bad.
Yeah.
So,
Um apparently it's bad if you're a Kentucky fan. Um
yeah, I get that.
I I was pulling for the Gamecocks. They could not um find the end zone enough against Clemson. Clemson wins that rivalry game 28-14.
Yeah.
Um I
Boy, I think Dabo needed that one.
yeah, I honestly I didn't watch South Carolina closely enough this year to know what all went wrong, but I think Shane Beamer um can, I'm hoping he can figure it out next year. Um I know
Well,
that it's
if he doesn't, we can assume he might not be there much longer. So,
true. And I think somebody else ought to go pick him up. I think he's still a really good coach.
yeah, I'm not going to argue that. I think that's true.
South Carolina is a tough place to coach.
It
Uh,
is.
you can only go one direction to recruit, and that's west. I think anybody on the coast like that uh, is is tough because where everybody else kind of has a circle around them, a semicircle is what you got at best. Um, is anybody surprised that Eli Drinkwitz hadn't been uh, hired away from Missouri?
Well, I know they gave him an extension, so I think he flirted. I think he had some serious conversations with Auburn, and maybe he potentially would have taken Auburn more seriously and a few things lined up, but I don't know the details. But you know, Missouri's gonna keep him. They've added another 6 years and given him a nice extension, and he's winning there, so good for him.
Yeah.
You know.
Um, they beat Arkansas 31-17. Um, how did I skip over? By the way, how did I skip over Vanderbilt beating Tennessee? Probably because I don't want to talk about it.
I think you're still in denial, and that's okay. But you were physically at that game.
I was.
I was slightly jealous until I saw the score. Tell me about it.
So
What you can,
yeah,
given the circumstances,
so we got up there. We went up there with I took my boys,
which is awesome.
went
Yeah.
with my sister, her niece, who I mean, my niece, her daughter, who is just a few months older than my oldest. Um, so they get along great. And then my parents.
Mm.
Um, uh, unfortunately, there was some drunk guys right behind us. This is my first time back to Neyland when alcohol can be sold in the stadium.
Oh.
Um,
Hmm.
and I'll say it did not improve the game day experience for me.
Oh,
Uh,
that's unfortunate. Yeah.
right as the game started, this guy's already hammered, fell, kind of into our row.
Oh no.
Um, uh, my oldest was scared. It scared him, more than hurt him.
Yeah,
So
I can see that.
that was frustrating. Then they also spilled their beer later. It got on my boys' coats, our pom poms, our programs. Like everything was just soaked and smelled like beer. So as soon as I got
Uh,
home,
yeah.
everything was getting washed. Um, luckily the coats didn't get too wet, uh, because the boys needed them by the end of the game. But uh, we kind of got over that. The band's hitting the field. My son, I've showed my son, my oldest, several things on YouTube. Hey, like here's what's going to happen. And here's what's kind of cool about, game days at Neyland. Um, and I still truly believe that there is nothing like the game day experience at Neyland Stadium. Um, one, the color orange is loud, it's gaudy, it's very unique.
Hmm.
And my son on the way up there, he's like, "Oh, look, it's a Tennessee fan. They got Tennessee magnets on their car. They got Tennessee flags." It's like, buddy, you are about to see 100,000 people wearing this shade of orange. There's going to be a lot of Tennessee fans there. We get in, we get to our seats. We're watching them warm up. Then the band hits the field. He's like, "Are they going to run through the tee?" I was like, "Just give it a couple minutes." And um, they get out there. They do the national anthem. Three Black Hawk helicopters come over, and
That's
I mean,
dope.
they can nearly clip the jumbotron as they come in. They are real low. Um, and my boys are just like, "This is awesome." They love that part.
I love it.
Then the band forms the T. The team comes out. Um, uh, my oldest is just loving it, and then he looks at me as soon as that's done and says, "Can I have some Sour Patch Kids?" I was like, "Okay." I said, "Well, once the game starts, because everybody's still kind of filing in." It's like, let the game start and then I'll go. So as soon as the game starts, my youngest wants popcorn because he does not want anything to do with the game for the most part. So I leave. At this point, Vanderbilt is driving down the field. Uh, Tennessee had a three and out. Vanderbilt's driving down the field, and as I'm standing in line waiting to get popcorn, Sour Patch Kids, and a soft pretzel, Tennessee intercepts at the goal line. Um, and so I was like, "Oh, okay, well, great. Well, I didn't get to see that. I only got to see them reviewing the play to make sure
Brutal. Yeah.
um, the interception got returned."
Oh man.
So get back to my seat. Kids are happy, like everything's going great. Um, as my youngest kind of finishes popcorn, he's uh, at halftime he's starting to get ornery.
Yeah.
So um he was sitting in my lap a bunch, just not feeling it. He ends up falling asleep, sleeping through half of halftime, like second half of halftime, and pretty much the entire third quarter. Um, we're not in the nice seats with backs. We are on the bleacher seats. And so I had to hold him for pretty much the entire third quarter. Um, there were bathroom breaks in there as well. And every time I got up to take a kid to the bathroom, Tennessee did something good. Uh, so it looks like I'm a bad luck charm.
Oh
Uh,
man, that's
but
terrible. Yeah.
we stayed until almost the end.
Hmm.
Um, a couple minutes into the fourth quarter, my youngest was like, I've just had enough. So I took him out to the corridors where you get your popcorn and all that. And we just hung out there and we watched the first wave of everybody exit. Um, and then I think Vanderbilt scored again, and that's when that second touchdown in the fourth quarter is when my family said, "Yep, let's go ahead and head out." So we made it back to the car. Uh, and then it took us an hour to get out of the parking garage.
Right.
Uh, I don't know why, but that, I mean, you've got 100, almost just shy of 102,000 people in that stadium, um, all trying to get home, and most of them are headed 40 west towards Nashville.
Yep.
So took us a while, but we got home. I asked them this morning, "Hey, did you have fun?" Yeah. So they had fun. It's probably gonna be a while before we go back. They probably need to be just a little bit older. But
I
I,
mean, shoot, what an opportunity though. And it's a shame they lost, but that's a heck of a game to be able to go to.
yeah, I hardly got to see the game because because I was
You took one for the team. Yep.
yeah, I was getting snacks and bathroom runs and
Yeah, it adds
uh
up.
all that. But I uh my son uh Tangent, he recently learned about the song, has heard the song Honky Tonk Badonkadonk. Um so as we were once we parked and we're kind of getting all our gear situated, my oldest and my niece are singing Rocky Top Badonkadonk,
Rocky Top of Donkey Dog.
which
That
is
should be a
just
song.
fantastic.
That is
The mashup
absolutely.
we never knew we needed.
Yeah.
It
Probably didn't, but
yeah.
you know.
Uh, I think I think the kids would probably give it a B minus experience. If they knew what grades were, um, it, I wish alcohol was not served because you, I think it's just because there's a younger crowd at college football games. Um, they're rowdier, and I don't know. It did not improve my game day experience. I'm not a big drinker either, so I'm not gonna get anything. Not like I had any time. Um, I'm not gonna get anything while I'm there. Uh, but um, luckily that guy who fell did not come back for the second half, so um, that helped a bit. But yeah, good experience. My boss is a Vanderbilt fan. He and his family went up there. Uh, I believe they sat in the Vanderbilt section, so that was probably a blast.
I'm sure.
Um,
Yeah.
and my cousins were very excited. So we'll see uh, what their fate is um, post championship weekend next weekend. Um, then let's wrap up with the last game. Florida put a hurting on Florida State. Now, neither one of
Yeah.
these teams,
There's a lot of
like,
fights in that game too.
oh,
Yeah.
does not surprise me.
No, not at all.
40-21. Uh, it was it was kind of, I mean, I guess it was a 3-point game at halftime. Um, but
I watched some of that game just because my family is Gator fans,
yeah,
and I enjoyed what part I watched. So it was like, okay, that's the Gators I was hoping to see,
yeah,
throughout the season, and just didn't get it. But
in Florida.
they did not, yeah, they didn't hold back on Florida State, and I can see why Florida State fans are sick of Norvell, man. Oof, rough.
And and then Florida goes and gets um the coach that was at the top of your list.
Yeah, Summerall. Yeah, he's I don't know exactly what all happened there, but he's not coming not at Auburn, but we're happy, man. Golish is the right pick for Auburn.
Yeah.
So,
Golish has some ties now in Florida.
yep.
Um,
That can't hurt from a recruiting standpoint, I would imagine, but yeah, we'll see.
so yeah, especially with Florida being as bad as they were this year, and last year for that matter. Um, by the way, I just want to hit on one more thing. Tennessee finishes 8-4. I've heard a lot of chatter about I guess just grumblings from some fans. Not ones that I know real well, but back in April, we lost our starting quarterback. Now, turns out he wasn't that great last year. He wasn't that great for UCLA this year. Um, but who else did we have? We had no quarterback with any sort of experience in April. By the first week of May, we did get Joey Aguilar. And basically, everybody was saying, if you can get 8 wins, call it a successful season. And they were saying we were going to lose to Georgia, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Florida. We lost to Georgia, Alabama, and Oklahoma. We beat Florida, but then lost to a really good Vanderbilt team. Um, Not only were we having to break in a new quarterback in real time, we lose the top cornerback duo in the country. Our defensive line, which was just so deep last year, still deep again this year, but had a lot of injuries early in the season. It, you know, for everything Tennessee went through in the last 9 months, 8 months, um, 8-4, I'm pretty happy with. Um, so I I think we're still set up well. Um, I'm excited to see what happens next. I did hear that Joey Aguilar has joined some suit, much like Pavia did last year, for another year of eligibility. I don't know that Tennessee is all, you know, I don't I don't know how they feel about it because I feel like they're probably set on quarterback. I think they're going to be fine. They've got some guys soaking, kind of soaking up the offense and learning and working out. So I think they're going to be fine there. I also think Pavia deserves to go to New York
Oh, 100%.
for the
Yep.
Heisman. Uh,
Yeah. We're
I
on the same page there.
I think he deserves it.
No, he
Um,
absolutely deserves it.
I
Yeah.
would I would hate to see Vanderbilt get a Heisman winner before my Vols, but
No, man, that dude Pavia has earned that opportunity, and even if he doesn't win, he should be there.
yeah. Um,
I
he,
can't believe Auburn didn't go get him when he was still at New Mexico. That was so stupid.
Florida didn't hire the guy that beat them from USF, and Auburn didn't go get the quarterback that beat
I,
them when he was at New Mexico State.
Ironically, I wonder what will happen. if Summerall ends up being a bust. And I'm not wishing that, but man, I feel like Auburn might have dodged a major bullet. And if this doesn't work out for Florida, Strickland will absolutely get fired, 100%. So
It sounds like Florida fans want him gone anyways.
yeah, well, Florida fans was very unimpressed with Summerall, which I don't understand because I think he's a good coach. But that is, man, and the
There's a lot
way
of pressure.
there was, I've listened to several podcasts about what happened with Summerall and Auburn, and I don't know what's true and what's not, so I'm not going to speculate and I'm not going to talk about it here. But there were some things that came up that, uh, if they're true, they were pretty petty. And it just was like, okay, if that is what happened, then Summerall's not the guy. Like you made the right choice. You dodged a
Yeah,
bullet. So it's really hard to know. But yeah, very unusual.
very, very unusual. Um, it's I, I don't know. I feel like the um the season was a bit crazy. I feel like this coaching carousel was just the craziest, at least in the SEC, that I've seen in a long, long
Oh
time.
yeah, 100%.
Um,
And
but
it's not slowing down. I mean, with the Kentucky news today, I don't think anybody really expected that.
no, and
And
it's
they're paying out 30 plus $1 million
geez,
to
that
Stoops. So for them
for a
to pay
basketball
that much
school.
money to, like, dude, we're hitting reset. Like we're gonna get somebody else. Like that's a big move for Kentucky.
Yeah.
That
It,
tells you right there, like there's some Kentucky people that just they're sick of it.
yeah.
They don't want to deal with it.
Um,
So
it there's a lot, and um, it's going to be interesting what the next couple weeks looks like.
I agree. Yeah, you're right.
Georgia is still finding ways to win. Somehow Alabama has rebounded from that loss to Florida State. Wow. Um,
Yeah, wow, indeed.
but we got one more week um of SEC
Yeah,
football, and
championship weekend with
yeah.
Alabama and Georgia, which yawn, I think is the right word. I'm kind of sick of seeing those two.
um
But
well,
whatever.
I say this: if Alabama wins, I'm gonna be sick of it. I I I need to see Kirby Smart beat Alabama. He's done it once.
Mm,
I think I saw he's 1-7 against Alabama. Now that one win was for all the marbles,
hmm.
but
And they lost earlier to them that same season. So yeah,
yeah, because
if I
they lost
recall,
it.
maybe I'm wrong. In the
No, they
championship game,
lost in
was
the
it?
SEC championship
SEC
game.
championship. Yep.
Um, and then they make it back to for that rematch. So we'll see. Let's hit these basketball scores really, really quick. Or not even scores. Um, Starting with last Tuesday, Tennessee beats Houston. Heck of a game.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome win by great quad one win by Tennessee.
yes, this was proof that Rick Barnes, I think, finally has the big men down low to compete um, against most teams.
Mm,
If you watch SEC shorts, Hope is a temptress that cannot be trusted. Um, Michigan beats Auburn. It wasn't pretty. Michigan is a really, really good team.
true.
I hate seeing any team from Michigan do well. Alabama beats
Much less
UNLV.
Ohio State. Yeah.
Um, A&M beats Mississippi Valley State. Missouri beats South Carolina State. Iowa beats Ole Miss.
Mm.
Um, Texas beats uh Chaminade.
Yeah. Chaminade is a D2 school in on Oahu in Hawaii. So they usually
Uh,
play, not every year, but they usually play in the Maui Invitational.
I guess Tennessee hadn't played them in the Maui Invitational, but
Uh, yeah, and even if every team that plays them beats them almost every time. So I mean,
they're
because
not.
they're D2, they're a tiny D2 school. They're not gonna be able to compete with these
Yeah,
massive, D1, you know,
yeah, in
beasts.
Hawaii. Uh,
They're one of the Hawaii schools, so they get some love, but that's
yeah,
that's where it ends because as soon as they play, it's over.
yeah. Uh, Alabama beats Maryland. Auburn beats St. John's. Now, I was keeping tabs on this game. St. John's is a really, really good team.
And
Um,
yeah, and we needed that because after the beat down from Michigan, it was, like, oh brother, what have we gotten into?
yeah.
And are we, just that bad is the question I was asking. And then, to be able to, you know, regroup the very next night and beat a solid St. John squad. Because we were down most of the game against
You
St. John's.
down
And
nine,
yeah, we
down
were
nine at
down
half.
and be able to come back and win in a convincing fashion. Like that just said, okay, this is a good team. They're learning how to rotate. They're learning,
Yep.
what to do. But this can be a really solid team, and yeah, I like this team. I wish the Michigan game had been different, but it is what it is. Every team's gonna have a bad night, and that was our bad night, one of
Yeah.
our bad nights. So,
Um, t-
um,
I mean,
yep,
Tennessee was down 11 at one point to Houston, and to see them fight back, and that's what you want to see from your teams. Um,
correct.
so no, I was very happy for Auburn to get that win. Kansas beats Tennessee. I think Tennessee was hungover from the night before beating Houston,
Yeah,
because it was pretty much the opposite. Tennessee
yeah.
was
There's
up,
no shame. Kansas is a good team, and they've had a couple sneaky losses, but they're still really good.
and
So,
Self is a Hall of Fame coach.
absolutely.
Um,
Yep.
there's a lot of respect between him and Barnes. They're good friends. But Tennessee was up 7 at halftime and then ends up losing. Just, I mean, just fell apart. Forgot how to play basketball in the last few minutes. Kentucky beats Tennessee Tech. Uh, Kentucky. Why are you always so good? Um, Texas beats NC State, ranked NC State.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt beats Western Kentucky.
Hmm.
Utah beats Ole Miss. Um, we did have a couple of games on Thanksgiving. Duke beat Arkansas. Um, I mean, now Arkansas is going to be good. I've
We don't
I've
know
said
that.
I've said this about Calipari teams. They're just trying to figure things out the first half of the season until halfway through the SEC schedule,
Yeah,
and
you
then
want
they
to you want
just
to play them early on. Yeah.
yeah. Um, this is I was a little surprised that Florida lost to TCU. Florida's a really good team. Um,
Yeah, I
and
don't know
again,
what happened there. That the guards couldn't get it going. But I don't think in any way that's a sign that Florida's down. I think
no,
they just had again a bad night, and TCU, credit to them, they took advantage. So,
yeah. And Vanderbilt beat VCU. Um, I mean, Vanderbilt 7-0.
hmm.
Um, 8-0 because they beat St. Mary's on Friday. Florida rebounds, beats Providence. Missouri beats Cleveland State. Oklahoma beats Marquette. South Carolina beat Charleston Southern. A&M beats Florida State. Mississippi State falls to SMU. LSU 6-0 beats Drake. Um, and then Georgia beat Tennessee Tech. LSU beat DePaul to round out the games um, that have happened since last week. Um, I think Auburn's showing a lot of promise. I think Tennessee is showing a lot of promise. I know those are our teams. Um, Arkansas is going to be good. Florida is going to be really good. Um,
Yeah,
Al-
Kentucky's gonna be
Kentucky's Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Jeez, they're going to,
Alabama's still gonna be good too, but you might be able to catch them. Um,
yeah.
yeah, we'll see about the rest. Georgia, I think will be a good team. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Georgia's already 7-1. Um,
yeah, they when I watched them play, I think it was against Xavier. I was impressed.
which
Like,
it was funny because I was checking my Apple Sports app, um, hashtag sponsorship in the future, and it because it lists all my SEC football and my SEC basketball games kind of together. I was like, Georgia scored 123. Oh, it's basketball. It's still a lot of points, but I was like, Georgia scored 123. This is why aren't more
oh
people talking
yeah,
about this?
no, that,
Um,
yeah, because yeah, Georgia's got some dudes. So
yeah. Uh, but by the way, um, it is within single digit seconds that a touchdown is scored in the game and the Apple Sports app is updated. There is there is nothing that is faster than this.
yeah,
If you think things are scripted, Apple Sports app is going to give you more ammo for that. Um, we're we're getting into it, guys. We're about to hit bowl season, which I love. I love seeing these matchups. The We're all going to be looking at the playoffs and see how this shakes out. Can Vanderbilt sneak in? Um, what happens with Ole Miss? And what is the seeding between Georgia, Alabama, A&M, and Ole Miss? How does that shake out? Especially where does A&M land? We will find out in a couple weeks, or I
coming
guess
soon.
in a little over a week. Um, I love it. We will have some more coaching updates
Yeah,
next week as well.
we'll have a final answer potentially on Kentucky. Maybe we don't know. And are there going to be more openings? I mean, because as soon as somebody gets hired, it seems like other schools got to go and replace. So yeah,
Yeah.
this thing could. Oh yeah, we saw Michigan State fire their coach today, and then looks like
Yes.
man, they got an awesome coach if they hire Fitzgerald. I think that's a
Yeah.
super dude. What a great opportunity for Michigan State if they get him. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
I saw that as well.
yeah, when I saw that, I was like, that's an easy, that's a slam dunk. Like you got
Yeah.
to do that. So
So yeah, it's not just the SEC that's looking for new coaches.
yeah,
Um, Hey, find us online, third Saturday in October.com, on social media at TSIO Pod. You can always email us, podcast at third Saturday in October, or support us by sharing this show with a friend,
yes.
or a family member who, from across the table, wishes your team the worst of luck. Uh, that is how we roll in the SEC. Uh, You can also support us by finding us on Venmo at TSIO Pod or on buymeacoffee.com/TSIO Pod, because popcorn, Sour Patch Kids, soft pretzels, it gets more expensive every year. Um, but not as expensive
Not
as a
only more
Titans game.
expensive, but it takes longer to go get it, and that's also problematic, as we
Not
found
if
out.
you
So
wait until 3 minutes after the game starts. Then there's no
okay,
line.
but then
But
you
then you miss
potentially
an
miss,
interception return for
something
20
that
extra points.
yeah,
And you miss the only good parts of the game. Great.
yeah. Well, you made your kids happy-ish.
Yeah.
So good job,
Um,
Dad.
Hey, here's for hoping for a decent bowl bid. Tennessee fans travel. And hopefully we can still put on a show in a bowl. So roll Vols.
Yeah, I'll be cheering for Tennessee in their bowl game. I won't be cheering for Auburn in their bowl game because there is no bowl game. There's a toilet bowl, is what we got. But we got Alex Golish, so we'll celebrate that. But War Eagle.
That's as good as a bowl win.
Tailgate, man cave, living room, pregame, burgers, ribs, chicken wings, chip and dip, pregame, scotch and a lot of IPA, Coca-Cola pregame, slaying dogs, cornhole pregame. How you gonna watch?